Kamar, may I please get a name and a number?
1802, Save Our Parks 3.
You know, just off topic for a second.
Yes.
You know when somebody says something so much that you just begin to think that it's true?
Okay.
Like when Kamar says, I listen to every episode twice, and you're just like, oh, that's just what this guy does now. He's that dedicated to the show that he listens to every episode twice. So let me get this straight now. You listen to every episode twice, but you missed a part of an episode twice?
No. Okay.
I'm confused. I'm confused.
You got me, Simon. Most of the time, I listen to every episode twice. In this case, I had to listen to this episode, Save Our Parks 3, and Fitzsimmons from noon till like 7 or 8 o'clock yesterday. I woke up this morning. I listened to Mammoth for the second time because I did listen to that during the week, and I had to go to a brunch. Had I not had to go to the brunch, I probably would have got through this, and I apologize deeply.
My buddy.
Your apology fell on deaf ears.
And I listened to both Fitzsimmons and Save Our Parks 3 at normal speed.
I don't even know what to believe anymore, man. I'm
That's fair.
lost.
That's
I
fair.
am
I've
absolutely
I've
lost.
let you down.
My buddy just texted me. I just started listening to the Joe Rogan review. Way better.
Than ours.
Yeah, it's a joke. Yeah.
Obviously.
He's been doing it much longer.
I know. Yes.
We'll
it's-
get there.
listen, he's also British, so I'm sure he's smart.
I like, we're just idiots. Like, you have no qualifications to do any. You know what I mean? Me neither. We're
Oh yeah, it's three
we're
morons.
just dum
Yeah.
dums.
If I get fired from here, it's not like I can go somewhere else and claim I
Oh
have all
no,
this
you'd be
experience.
headhunted for sure for all of those fucking
true.
podcasts.
You can't get fired. You're a director.
This podcast would be ideal if you say we were driving to Toronto by yourself.
Yeah, this is 4 hours of fun.
You know?
You know? Yeah, I do.
We know these guys.
This is the Save Our Parks you're talking
Yeah,
about?
Save
Save Our
Our Parks,
Parks.
yeah.
They're now a thing.
So I love Shane Gillis so much. He's so fucking funny. Did you listen to... I'm sorry, Kamar, just before we get into your notes, your listen twice notes. Did you
I'm exposed.
did you listen to the most recent Skanks?
Who's on it?
I don't usually listen anymore, but I saw that Shane Gillis and Maddie, his partner from the Secret Podcast, were on.
I have not seen it.
And I had just on YouTube, I don't even know how I got
basketball
to this.
game?
The
Yes, I
basketball
saw the
game.
basketball
Okay,
game.
so the basketball game
21 to nothing or
is
something?
12 to nothing.
Sorry.
They thought it was 11, but anyways,
dyslexic.
it's so funny. It's just so funny to watch.
This is when
And then
Shane beats Gomez.
Shane-
Lewis and Big
Shane
J.
and
Wilkerson,
Matt.
who is the worst.
Gomez is so bad at
At least he's
basketball.
trying
Oh,
to
dude.
move.
He tries. You have to listen to that podcast, okay?
Is it their what they think?
It's them
course I
talking
do.
about
Yes, I
it and
do.
how Jay is so sour and Gillis just keeps needling him. And dude, it's so funny.
Do you think it's weird that you love a jockey guy like Shane Gillis?
I don't find him jockey.
I
But
like.
he is.
I like how
And that's his whole thing.
I like how real Shane Gillis is, and it comes through in his comedy, and it comes through in how he is. And I bet he's exactly the same. I don't think he's like pretending to be somebody else. I think that's what I like about him. Whereas other people, where I think that they're being themselves, are just still putting on like kind of a show. I don't know.
I thought Mark Norman was way too punchy in the
Yes.
beginning of this one.
Always.
And I don't know if you guys noticed, but at one point they put on a video to watch, and it was sort of important to hear what they're saying. I think it was the Trump roast. Gillis really lost out there when he said, "Watch Trump." And I personally agree with him. I think that roast was hilarious. If you watch its entirety for context.
Sorry. Back up. I don't understand what you're talking about. What are you
He'll
saying?
get there. He's not there yet. Let him finish.
Gillis said, "Watch Trump roast. He's hilarious."
Like the roast of Donald Trump?
No, it was a big dinner with the church, and they roast each other. It was the candidates,
Right.
dinner.
I remember. Yes.
and they all had their headphones on, but Norman didn't. So he kept talking over it, and at one point he goes, "Oh," like showing that he was in his punch-up mode. Like, let's go. And you still get gems, but there's a lot of over talk in the beginning till Joe finally, I think, in 2-hour mark said, "Whoa, guys."
Those guys would be equally, if not more funny, if they were like legitimately shooting the shit. They weren't on camera. That, you know what I mean? Which is what you hope the most for from a podcast, I think.
I find that if they just had their own podcast, Sans Joe, called Protect Our Parks, it would be
Hilarious,
successful.
I just like
And
God.
less trying to
God bless.
stand out.
God bless Mark Normand.
Mm-hmm.
He is just so intent on having to use this as a platform or something. I don't know. He
It
doesn't.
feels that way. It
He
feels
doesn't
that way.
need to.
Nope.
Hold on. In his defense, Shane brings it up. He's like, he's pretty much autistic when it comes to like
Okay, sure. So fine. Yeah.
See it,
like
say it.
social norms
Yep.
and like, you know what I mean?
Exactly. So maybe that's totally what it is. But that's why Shane seems more real.
Yeah.
And
I thought
he
Ari is
seems-
very real in this.
Yeah, Ari's always great.
wasn't over the top.
He is
The
just who
anecdote
he
about them
is, you know?
skiing and him wearing the jersey and the guy being like, oh, I didn't know so-and-so was that short. And Mark Norman just looks at him and goes, I'm gay.
That pointing to that he just can't help himself.
That's what I'm saying. That's who he is. And it's almost to the point that you're making, like Shane Gillis is who he is. I almost think that's who Mark Normand is. Like,
So maybe he's just too punchy for me.
and that's fine. Yeah, yeah.
you know?
In the
I agree with
beginning,
you.
he came off as the most annoying. That's all.
Yeah.
Like when he tells a story, when Mark Norman tells one of his stories, it's perfect. It's fine. He's a good addition to the conversation. It's when he's trying to be funny, which would probably work if you were just shooting the shit with the boys, but it comes off as forced.
Do you know why I like it? Because it reeks of old Opie and Anthony. Because on old Opie and Anthony, they were always all on. And whenever someone had a train wreck of a joke, like they had that car hitting the wall button that they'd hit, and then everyone would laugh at the person that made the, you know, like it.
Sure, then we need that button so that these guys can call him on
Sure.
all the jokes that missed. Then it becomes funny.
I think the problem is that Joe's show, by and large, even when he has comedians on, like Joe, even with these guys, tries to like shoehorn in serious conversations, and it's like, Joe, we don't need to talk about Russia now. Like,
Not even serious conversations, just like laugh at a couple of fucking jokes,
He also
man.
tries to get people to dry snitch. We'll get to that in a bit.
as Kamar dry snitches. Like,
I don't even know what a dry snitch is.
It begets.
What is a dry snitch?
There's no reason to rat the person out.
Oh,
You
it's
fucking
just out of
let out
nowhere.
information.
Gotcha.
Like there's no
Yeah,
reason.
yeah. You do that because you're autistic, right?
Well, it is not practicing. Do not do to your neighbor what you know you hate.
Like, hey, nice jacket. My neighbor's cheating with her husband on with the guy next door.
Yes, that's a dry snitch. They shit on solidarity protests, which I think some people are addicted to now.
What are solidarity
Well, I'm
protests?
pouring out all my vodka, freedom fries instead of French fries. Like
Kaepernick kneels, I'm burning all my Nike socks.
Just all these little symbolic things that don't do
If they make sense, I'm more for it. But this idea of dumping out vodka that you've already paid for that doesn't really come from Russia, they just put a name on it that's Russian because people associate vodka with Russia. Like, smarten the fuck up.
The funniest thing too is like we're not buying Smirnoff anymore. Like that's owned by an American conglomerate.
Seagram's.
Like what are we doing
This
here?
is what I'm saying,
You guys aren't
Maddie.
even hurting the right people.
It's not made in
just
Russia.
it's misdirected.
It's made down the street
to like Cleveland.
at
You're just
the same place where your fucking pirate rum is made. You know, like that's not made in
Russia. No.
no, wherever rum is made in Cuba.
Oh yeah,
or
yeah,
in
yeah. I
Fucking
see, yeah.
solidarity protests. Just laugh at them.
Freedom
What
fries.
can you do?
Well,
Freedom
I said that 2 weeks ago. I was like, all those people that were burning their Nike socks when Kaepernick was kneeling. I'm like, a month from now they're going to be like, "Where's all my socks?"
Did it move the needle either?
Yeah, that too. Yeah, Nike's like, you're going to end up buying our sock sales. We're up 25% the next
you can
month.
donate money if you want to put money where your mouth is, or maybe you could go fight in a war that you have no business being in.
I mean, listen. Before the truckers, I didn't even think that protests work. So there you go.
Well, there's a big story in our poster that
we'll
you'll love.
move on. Yeah.
Though it will maybe be seen people may be addicted to these things.
Yeah.
Like this Ukraine war when it ends on May 9th won't like
I think you're forgetting too that like people like a sense of community, and if you're in that protest community, I'm not saying I justify.
as
I'm
long
just
as they're
saying
where they're not actually doing anything.
I'm just saying, Kamar, it's just like joining a gang. Like you could be, you know, you can say like I understand why people join a gang. I wouldn't join one, but it's that same like weird sense of community and.
That's why people join cults.
They mentioned that the UFO sightings.
UFO
UFO sightings.
There we go.
really ramped up after Nagasaki and Hiroshima. Should we shoot out a big bomb into space and blow it up to see if we
Just to test it?
get them around here?
Well, we did do that.
Well, should we do that again to try to get some more action?
I like Kamar thinks we're going to bait a much higher being into the... We got him.
No, but I think that Joe is just a little mistaken there. He's saying that when they bombed Pearl Harbor, after that, the UFOs started coming around more.
No, he
No,
said
they
when they
bombed Pearl
dropped
Harbor, and then they
when
dropped
they
the
dropped the
atomic
nuke
bomb
on
on
Nagasaki and Hiroshima. After
Okay.
that,
Oh,
they started.
on the planet Earth.
Yes. Yes.
And what I think is that it was when they were testing that bomb into space, the nuke,
Yeah.
whatever operation, whatever the fuck that was.
Well, his whole thing doesn't...
That's probably what alerted the rest of the fucking solar system that we had.
I mean, Joe's theory doesn't hold up because
Guns that
they
were
were
too
testing nukes in Nevada before they ever dropped them on Hiroshima, right?
That's true. We've seen the footage.
So that's what I'm saying is it would make more... like if,
Got a couple in the water, which would be very close to home, to space.
Yeah, very cool. Who saw them in the water? Sorry?
You've seen that.
No,
big
like
sp-
French
there's a-
Polynesia.
There's a
I
boat
think it was-
there, and it's a huge... Maybe it's not even a nuclear, but it was big. Like mushroom cloud.
Oh, the mushroom cloud, you're saying.
He's saying they've tested before those incidents.
Well, they tested all over the fucking South Seas there. Like
that was my point. My point to Kamar was simply like Joe's thing didn't really hold a lot of water because we had already tested so many of them that they probably would have shown up already. Why would they care that we're attacking each other? They would assume the first one was an attack, right? Like
Okay, we'll throw that in the
But I like
trash.
Simon's that if it could have been, we'll throw that in the trash. I wasn't trying to be a dick. I was just saying, whatever. Joe's entitled to his opinion. I don't care.
You know, and get this.
Uh-oh, here we go.
The
Buckle up.
United States conducted 1,332 nuclear tests between 1945 and 1992 at the Nevada test. This is on their own soil, man.
Yeah.
Like, but all of that aside, they said, "Fuck that. That's not enough. We know what nukes do on our planet. Let's see what happens when we launch them into space." And that's when I think they alerted whoever, the Galactic Board, that, oh shit, these
Board doesn't suit. It's gotta be
Federation.
Galactic Federation. That sounds a lot more
sorry.
official.
I'm sorry, Kamar.
The Board of Aliens.
How about the Board of Alien Affairs? Do you like that better?
I love that they
I
use
do like
our
that.
words. They came to
Yeah.
Earth and they
well,
were like,
it's
these
actually-
guys really like Federation. I think we
This
should.
English has a ring to it.
Yes.
Bleep, 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 bleep. But that's how they spoke.
Yeah.
It's just you hear that through your eyes. It's not even
Okay,
a language.
okay.
Yeah. Anyways, go on, Kamar.
Have you guys watched or noticed the transformation of Lisa Lampanelli?
Well, she's gone now. I haven't seen her in years.
She's gone now, but she went from on the roast, like
She was everywhere. She was huge.
Well, she had a something happened. She said something that was too bad, or something happened where she got canceled.
No, but she
made too many black cock jokes.
she went from that comment all the way to got the gastric bias and like went woke. Sort of you go woke, go broke, and it's a weird thing to see that transition because I always liked her, but I didn't realize like everyone would shit on her, about black cocks or whatever, and that was bothering her. She put on a brave face and made the money, but it affected her, and she's an angry person now.
Well, yeah, it wasn't even about the black cocks. It was about people just made fun of her looks, the comedians and stuff. And you can be a comedian and take that, but I think after you do enough roasts and you have enough people call you a horse face, you're just like, fuck, man,
Yeah.
I'm a horse face.
And I got a lot of money. I don't need to put up with this shit.
Yeah, well, that too, man.
Then they talked about the slap Will Smith. It appears they all believe it's true. I did a survey at my Shaw Center, a very broad cross-section society, and the majority of people there thought it was fake. So
Kamar did a survey up at his compound, and the
and it
majority
was overwhelmingly agreed.
the majority of the cult members, I mean, innocent people, like, what are you talking about?
they are actors. They could have been acting.
Like, whatever. The latest I heard in Slapgate, anyway, is just a little bit of juicy information, nothing about whether it's fake or real, unfortunately, is that Chris Rock made a statement that I am not going to talk about this until I get paid. And who knows what the fuck that means, whether, because it can mean one of three things as far as I can tell.
Civil
Suit, or they haven't offered me enough from like TMZ yet, or
TMZ has nothing to offer him.
or it's going to be in my next act, and you can all hear it then when you're ready to pay me. All of those things could be true. Two of those things at the same time could also be true.
Civil suit is the only thing in my mind that could make it real to me.
If he actually sues.
Yeah, there'd have to be disclosure, and if they conspired to do any sort of thing, this went wrong, and come out.
Well, and then they would probably have to go to jail. Well, it's fraud.
And
at
why
that point.
would Chris, if the Oscars had set it up,
Yeah.
and it was all a big joke or whatever, why is Chris Rock still going along with this? Why is what do they owe to the fucking Oscars? They could just blame it all on the Oscars. The Oscars made us do this. It was a bad joke. It went too far. Like, I don't get it.
Again, I have to equate it to the Justin Timberlake, Janet Jackson scandal, which they did do it on purpose, but they said, oh, it was a wardrobe malfunction.
Yeah, but we all knew that was bullshit. We all watched
They
him.
only have come out recently and said, yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, we all watched him grab her tit and pull that thing down. We knew.
For years, why did they say we tried to do it and it went wrong?
Well, because I think everyone wants to be invited back to the Super Bowl.
But maybe Justin thought that she had
Well, they banned Will Smith.
something underneath there.
That's weird, yeah.
And that's why he pulled it off. And then she didn't, and it was nip, and they were like, oh, fuck. You know what I mean?
Simon, you saw that, right? Will Smith has been banned 10 years.
10 years from the Oscars. Big fucking deal. Do
That's
you know
what I
what
said.
that do you know what that means?
Nothing.
It means 0.
Yeah, that's what I said.
He can still win an
Oh, of course,
Oscar.
yeah.
He can still win an Oscar. It means he just can't vote on the Oscars.
No, but he's supposed to present next year, right? To Best Actress.
Yeah, who gives a shit?
You see me crying you a big fat river here?
Anyways, he's going to mess up relationship. Jade is the biggest problem.
Oh, dude,
I saw a
that
video. I saw a video the other day.
Are you talking about the grandmother?
Instagram one? No, I'm talking about the Instagram one.
Oh, okay,
There's
go
one where
ahead.
she starts like.
He says social media is my brand. Oh, yeah. That was very...
What? Stop.
off-putting.
Stop.
Okay, she
you
pulls,
have to finish.
She pulls out her Instagram live and starts like interviewing Will Smith at home.
And he says, I won't be on it.
Yeah, he's pissed. He's like, I'm not going to have you do this. Social media is my bread and butter.
Yeah.
We're in my home. Stop this shit now. And like, there's pretty much like a.
What do they call that? Fade to Will
Domestic
at
dispute.
the red table? No. Like she
Oh,
got
yeah.
her way.
Smash cut
He
to-
ended
yeah.
up having to admit it all for her little podcasty thing. Like the whole thing's so gross.
And he doesn't eat her. And all is she not living off the laurels of Menace to Society?
It was the only good movie she ever did.
It wasn't even a good movie.
Oh, she was so hot in it.
She was so hot in it, though.
You don't think
She
Menace
was
to
so hot.
Society was a good movie?
Well, I did until you guys said it's the worst movie.
I don't think it's the worst
When did
movie.
we say it was the worst movie?
The scene where the blue and the red happened, and you bought the bottle of beer at 12:30. Someone told me they didn't.
No,
like that.
that's all good. I like
Okay,
that.
yeah, it's a great movie.
Might have been
It's
me.
the only good movie she was in. She was just so hot, and she lived off the fucking laurels.
Well,
and
she was in-
is a good movie.
She was in The Matrix.
Well, that Chris Rock joke that he told, again, who knows who wrote it, but when he was like, yeah, Jada's going to boycott the Oscars, you weren't even invited.
That is his joke. Oh, yeah, right.
But I'm saying someone could have written
He
that,
said
right?
that
Like,
that's like boycotting Ray Ray's underwear or something like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, and someone
You
out
gotta
there's
be
like
invited.
someone the next day they're saying, "Yeah, I wrote that joke.
Yes.
I wrote the GI joke."
Yeah.
If it's all real, providing. Yeah, go on.
Stop doing that.
What? What?
It's all real.
Allegedly. That's all we can do.
allegedly.
And I said until the civil suit
You know
goes
what's
through.
you know what's crazy is I get it. Like, you know, a Bigfoot doc or a Bigfoot video gets made 65 years ago by Robert or by Patterson and Gimlin, and I can see why people look at it now and it's like, I'm not sure. Like, guys like you are skeptical. I could probably convince you if we watched it long enough, but skeptical. Like, we all watch this in like 5K.
I
You
look
know
at
what
it-
I
My
mean?
whole thing is the ABC cutaway.
Thank you. I look
No,
at
it
a blue
sells
dress,
it.
white
No,
dress.
he's saying that they wouldn't cut away if it was
Yeah, if it's set up, they're
set
not
up.
going to bother cutting away.
What are they
Depends
doing?
how many people are in on it, but it's white dress, blue dress, okay?
It is not white dress, blue dress. It's not. It's not.
I don't know what to tell you.
Whatever you like, Kamar. If you want white dress, blue dress, I'll give it to you.
I cannot believe how many women believe in Bigfoot, too. I've told this to you before. You don't know that.
That a lot of women believe in Bigfoot.
Are open to it.
Yeah, but that might be a fantasy that we don't know about. Like women secretly
Well,
dream of some big, hairy,
He wants
half
support with
man,
people
half...
who are like-minded. That's good. Like someone said, you know where you should go? Is like the West Coast.
BC.
or BC or Portland, Washington.
Yeah,
like
that's
the great redwoods and stuff. I think you would
tremendous
feel like
Bigfoot
shit,
sightings.
they're
Yeah,
here.
no,
Tremendous
I would,
Bigfoot sightings.
There were a lot in Ontario too. You'd be surprised. Northern, but
Yeah, I would not be surprised. When
listen,
you're up there. Anything could
anywhere
happen
where
up there.
there is a
Time, put it under.
vast under what?
Under your arm, like that. Like tuck it under.
Like this?
No,
Learn how to drive.
Vast amounts.
that's
of,
the way. Yeah. Oh, that's even weirder. No, no.
Vast amounts of land. You're gonna find Bigfoot, I think.
Or any way that access to Middle Earth.
Yeah, cave system. I'm all for that.
Ari was talking about the cycles of the Comedy Store. Could you imagine it was just dead? Like you've walked into a shitty bar,
Yeah.
in your life, and just or the same shitty bar with 300 people in it is like this place is lit.
Yeah.
But there was a time period after, like Sam Kinison and all that, where it just was like you imagine the dust. What is it like the dust? Spindle rolls across.
I've never been there, so I don't even have like a concept of how big each room
Tumbleweed.
is. I don't, you know what I mean?
Thank
I
you.
can't.
Well,
I don't even know what it looks like.
Think about this. Think about this. The original room, no. The original room they say is 300.
That's the big room.
The OR is a 150.
That's the original room.
and the one is 80. So I would
You
say
said the same room twice. So sorry, there's the main room. That's the big room, right? Then there's the OR,
Yeah.
and then there's the
red
belly
room,
room.
or whatever. The belly,
Belly
room.
room.
Thank you.
I was in the original room, Simon, and I would equate it to.
Like compared to
Absolute.
I was going to say I would compare it to absolute, but where the stairs go down, there is then like a riser with probably like 10 or 15 more tables, and then the ceiling is slightly. The room has like a bigger feel to it.
Okay.
We gotta go. We gotta go before they tear it down.
They're not going to tear it down. You guys are crazy.
When you saw Joe, because you saw him at the Bronson Center
Multiple times I've seen them. Yeah.
every single time, did you do a Q&A?
No, only for the Bronson Center.
Which you were like,
Well, he saw him at the Air Canada Center. That's
yeah,
way
he
too
doesn't
big to
do
do a
that at
Q&A.
those huge
I'm
shows.
asking.
No. I'm
I'm
saying
Fair
at those giant arenas, I don't think he does. I don't even think he does Q&As anymore.
but they're saying, well, he did the other night.
I guess. Yeah.
When because they say people ask questions, he goes, let's a stupid question next.
Yeah.
Did he do that when you saw him? You can remember?
I don't even remember. It was like hour fucking 5.5 of the show.
Yeah,
I wasn't even that big a Joe. I wasn't even a Joe Rogan fan. Like it was. I couldn't even tell you.
Well, they just laughed out.
I remember.
Someone waits 3 years to ask this question.
Yeah, and then Joe's like, "That's a terrible
Shut
question."
I
Next.
remember somebody asked a DMT question, and I had zero. I had no idea
got on
what
the ground
DMT
floor, bro.
was. I was like so lost, you know.
Heaps lots of praise to Tim Dillon. Then they got on a gay thing, and I believe it's totally
They got on a
true.
gay thing.
If you're like a rock star or whatever, and you have any girl you want, whenever you want,
You think then dick is your thing at that point?
you probably go gay. Yeah, I need a new sensation.
I think that's what you do, without a doubt.
Well,
I have a feeling
maybe just
Simon
me.
and I are fine.
I was just gonna say I think you go to the hotter girls, and then maybe you go back to like uglier. I don't know why you flip to guys.
Because you need a new sensation.
Like, come on, Dave Portnoy could have any girl, and he's been with the same
I think
chick
if you're
for.
straight, you just
Rockstar is different than.
I guess, okay,
Rockstar
maybe.
is just crazy.
no. I think it depends
you're
on
always on
which
tour.
rock star. If you're talking about those weird androgynous rock stars, well, maybe.
I mean, billionaires nowadays, though, Kamar, like billionaires with a profile, they might be bigger than rock stars.
But they're not constantly participating in something that puts them out there. And
Yeah,
then
you're
there's
right.
girls
They're not
backstage.
touring or- I
like
get
you're
it.
just there's something about being on stage to people that they think you're bigger than life, and I see it. I just see that as possible.
Kamar's totally down to suck dick once if he ever hit it off. Like
I'm
that.
not
fair.
getting rock star pussy,
it's
so
okay,
it'll,
man.
it's
No,
It's
but
all
you're admitting
good.
that once you do, you will immediately.
And you
I
don't
start-
even need to become a rock star, dude. Just do
Yeah,
your
don't
thing.
worry, Kamar.
Did you
it's
see
fine.
Bubble?
Just do
Did
your
you watch
thing.
Bubble? Did the Bubble?
No, I did not.
So you know the guy from Narcos, and then he was the Mandalorian.
The
Mandalorian?
Yeah, we know.
Do you not know what I'm talking about? You know
We
the actor I'm
don't.
talking
Yeah,
about.
we know him.
So
Well, I don't know.
You don't?
I didn't watch The Mandalorian. So who from Narcos are we talking about?
He's the cop, the undercover cop there.
he's Latino.
Oh yeah, okay,
the
sure.
mustache.
Yeah, yeah, I got you.
He's a cool guy.
Yeah, I'm
so
with
he
you.
plays like sort of the rustic like Alec Baldwin type movie star of it.
Okay.
And his whole thing is because he's on this bubble. He just walks up to me and goes, "Do you want to have sex with me?" Because in his life, that's how it works. You know, when you're a movie star, you a rock star, you don't like, what are you into? You're like, do you want to go fuck?
Well, you don't really have time, too, as a rock star.
On to the next one.
Yeah.
This is how it is. How do you think, if it's true, they got the gerbil in the butthole? It's some sort of PVC tubing. You sort of get it in there, and then you...
I do not think that's true. I don't think that is a situation where Gear wanted to leave Scientology and they released the secret they had of him. I think he wanted to leave Scientology and they made up a story about him.
That's never happened.
Okay, the way I heard the whole Richard Gere thing was that he got a gerbil addicted to heroin, got it declawed, and then shoved heroin up his ass so that the gerbil would go find the heroin.
Totally plausible.
It seems like a lot of work to do what a dildo could do. You know what I mean?
No, but the twisted power of getting the poor gerbil
of having a fucking
heroin.
Rodent inside you, like that didn't happen, man. That's my personal opinion.
How about this? Did you mention like what's your escape plan
What?
for removing said rodent?
The rodent's dying.
Like, remember the scene,
push it
the
out.
best scene maybe in all of Hollywood history, Jackass, where he goes to the
Yeah,
doctor
with the toy car up his ass.
because that doctor doesn't know, Matt. He is.
Of course not. He's not
it's
in on the gag.
So perfect, and he says, "Do you know that you have a car?"
No, it's the
Or
best.
whatever
No,
it
it's
is.
Ryan Dunn goes, yeah, I'm not feeling well. And he goes, do you have a toy car in your ass? And
Anyways,
he goes, what? There's a toy car in your ass.
the whole thing's perfect. Now imagine that with a dead gerbil. Like, no, it's just not a thing. I refuse to admit. I won't even Google it. A, because I don't want it in my phone. But B, I don't think you would even find any true information.
Let's just move on. These make me queasy.
Who's your late night host? They were talking about Carson.
I mean, I guess I was Letterman.
I mean, I was never really a late night fan,
Yeah,
like
me
to
neither.
the point.
But if I had to pick one, it
if
was
I had to
Letterman.
pick one, it was Jon Stewart, and if he doesn't count, then it's Letterman.
We have an agreement. I thought you might have been a Conan guy.
We have an agreement. I mean, I liked Conan, but
I like Conan. I just couldn't stay up that late.
Pussy.
This is the. You know what? I'm not even gonna. I had the joke, just like Chris Rock had the joke. Not gonna do it.
good for you, bigger
Not
man.
gonna do it.
Keep your cock out of my wife's mouth.
It was a G.I. Jane joke, dude.
Good for you, Simon. Way to be the bigger man.
They talked about Ari losing his show, and that is in good spirits. I think he should bring it back.
It is one of the. I've watched every single one ever made, and it is my favorite comedy. I love them. They are amazing.
Do you think the crazy starting was maybe unnecessary?
No, I loved it. That was the part of the fun.
That's how
that,
to get young kids super interested?
No, it was just Ari having a good ass time, and he could because there was money behind it.
I know, but the
loved
show
it.
itself, the actual meat of the meal is good enough.
It is.
So maybe if he didn't do those crazy startings,
That's
it
not-
would seem like
Oh,
it cost so much.
okay.
And they would have liked
That's
him.
not why they fired him, though, but okay.
Then they talked about Ari versus Stern, which is great. Joe just loves it that he, Howard Stern was, who's this Ari character?
Yeah,
And,
perfect.
Sat in front of his billboard and he said
I mean, it was good.
No.
I don't know if it
Joe put it as
warranted
the greatest get
like,
back ever.
I didn't watch this one, but at that point, did they put Ari up on a chair and dance him around the studio? Like the horror?
Yes, they did.
Yes, they did. Okay,
Yeah, they
that
did.
Then that
Yeah.
makes sense. Yeah. Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, this is what it...
I think the point was more that it was like a big pull. Like if you're a small time comedian, which at the time
To
Ari
get-
was,
what's his name
to
to
get
talk
Howard
about, yep.
Stern to spend that amount of time shitting on you, obviously Stern didn't realize that like you're just giving him.
That was exactly what Ari wanted,
And for all
and he won.
intents and purposes, Howard would probably really be interested in Ari and get along with him, fellow of the tribe.
Yeah, you'd think.
I don't
I don't think Howard Stern has a sense of humor anymore.
But still, he was
probably right.
He was the troll. Ari's the troll.
He was. Now he's on Dancing with the Stars, and he's probably everyone you hate. Kamar.
The best thing Ari could do is if he was healthy with a head of hair, is grow it out, a la old Howard Stern, just as an homage.
No, Ari needs to grow a beard coming from another Jew who's going bald. He looks weird. He looks like a rat right now.
Dude,
he needs some meat down this part of his face.
I bet he's healthy.
I shaved my face before the last podcast we did, and editing it last week, I was like, "Oh my god, I look like a penis. It's ridiculous. You cannot
look like a penis."
But I know most of my life I was like, fish hair is lame. Like you just look dirty and unkept. That's how I felt about fish hair. And now for me, it's like
now you're like the more rattier I look.
No, the job I had, which was on a regular basis.
Yeah.
If I clean shave the day before, I have to go. You have to either have a beard or not have a beard.
Well, in all fairness, he has like a homeless beard. Like, look at him.
Yeah.
No, he looks great. Come on, you look like $1 million bucks.
Thanks, man. Okay. I'm gonna shave just for that. Damon Wayans' process to purposely lose the crowd to see if you get it back.
Yeah. Intentionally go out of your way.
You have to have enough time to do that and enough confidence, because anyone else just wants everything to go peachy keen.
Yeah.
That's the idea.
No one
comedy.
Yeah, of course.
So that's a good way to challenge yourself. Then they talked about the Civil War, which is so crazy.
Sorry, come on, back to that though. That's almost like a handicap in golf.
It's like giving yourself an 8 to see if you get back.
Well, what I'm saying, not only that, but it's also like, you know what I mean? Like if you and I go out and you're way better than me, it's not a lot of fun you just being like, oh, I'm just going to kick the shit out of you. It's like,
yeah, okay, maybe,
you know, you're like, I'm going to give you a few strokes.
It's not stimulating enough him just to go up and kill on stage. I do that.
Yeah, I do that on the I've been doing this for 30 years, killing. So guess what?
I think it's kind of like Kamar when he's had too many girls.
Yeah, he just starts, he has to go.
Years away from that, boys. Years away from
blowing dudes.
But it's sort of like BDSM. He goes to suffer.
Yeah.
I've got a bomb to feel, and I know I'll get out of it. I don't know if you know about McElroy's on a tear. They talked about the Civil War.
He's -7 today.
Which is crazy. And that was Norman's funnest line was, oh, I thought they won. I thought this other one.
Yeah.
But them sitting there, because I guess Shane's a bit of a buff.
Yeah.
He sounded quite interested. And there's a battle where people
are having a picnic.
Like, oh, do I watch the battle? The guys
just dismembered guys running by.
Yeah. Dude, it's a famous battle in the Civil War where they thought it was because they were Brits, right? I guess descendants of Brits or whatever, and they thought it was going to be like a polo match. And
this
they literally all went out there with their fucking picnic blankets and shit. And next thing you know, there were cannonballs flying at them and like. Anyways,
just a super anecdotal, cool story. And the Civil War is such great history. I guess, it's weird, right?
For us, why?
We were British.
Okay.
In the Civil War, we fought the Americans, and we burnt down the White House. But we were fighting at the side of the Brits.
Who?
We Canadians didn't burn down the White House.
Well, we weren't Canadians at that point. We were
British and French.
We are technically the only country to ever defeat the states in a war.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking
about. And that's thanks
about.
to a U.S. turncoat named Laura Secord, who we named a franchise of ice cream after.
Tune in to the post show for that full story. And then they answer
the full story of Laura Secord?
No, we're not giving you that full story.
Well, you'd have to pay to find out.
You can watch one of those, you know.
They said in 1920...
They showed them on TV.
Part of our heritage.
Yeah, in 1920, there were 6 million Klan members.
That's what I was saying earlier. It's crazy. It's nuts.
And now there's probably 8,000 to 10,000 tops. So we've made a good strides.
Yeah.
And Daryl Davis didn't do every one of those.
Well, there also used to be a lot of Nazis. There aren't so many
Well,
anymore.
we know there's still
there are still
of Nazis.
Some in the States, too.
No, in
you just
Argentina.
have to abide by some Nazis if you want to live in the States.
You're telling me specifically?
No, I'm
He's
just
calling you a Nazi.
He said it like I brought them over, like Matt.
No, just that if you wanted to worship them, there's a giant statue that you could go fucking hail. And
there's one specific Nazi that you could go worship in the States.
I think you'd probably be surprised how many Nazi statues are up in the United States.
Okay. I'm not American and I don't put up statues, so I'm very sorry, Simon.
It's okay. I really think they should take that down, though. Like, enough is enough.
Have you written a letter yet?
No, I haven't. But I'm surprised I'm the only one who gives a fuck. There must have been, like, Jews throughout the years who have been outraged by this whole Werner von Braun thing.
I wonder if anyone's taken the tour of NASA and been like, is that a Nazi? You know what I mean? Like, just yelled it out on tour? Because I'd love to see what the tour guide would say. Like,
Well, it's buried history.
You're missing the part on this plaque where he made the Jews run and the slowest one got shot on sight.
Yeah, this guy used to hang Jews every day.
It's fucking pathetic, man. No, really, it's crazy. Like, not many things bother me about whatever, but
Simon, if this podcast, Simon, if this ever takes off, if the YouTube channel gets to 1 million subscribers, we're totally going on the NASA tour, filming it.
Oh, that'll be great.
Fuck the NASA tour. I'm going to space.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Sorry.
Then they had a moment of silence for the guy that invented the chump frog.
Sorry, just one more thing. If you're going to space to escape Nazis, you might be in for a...
I'm going to find out.
I think the moon
is... It's rife with Nazis.
Rife with Nazis. I think that's where they all went.
I'm just going to find out if it's round, Simon. I don't care about Nazis.
You just want to get up and get back down.
Yeah.
It'd be funny if you got up there and it was they all turned to gypsyism. They're all gypsies up there. They became what they hated.
The Nazis?
Yeah.
It'd be funny if they were like, okay, space does exist, so we're just going up this cloud. Here's $1 million. You just got to tell everyone it was the most amazing thing ever. We've got this video of you. Thanks for participating.
Are you talking about the astronauts?
I'm talking about my space experience.
Oh, because that was the astronauts' experience. They were just like, yo, here's this much money. You just got to hold on to this secret forever. There's only 3 of you. It's not going to be that hard.
That's exactly what I'm describing, the astronaut experience. But they went up like 7 times, so they did that a bunch of
Those times they went. No.
Yes.
They went to space. They've got there. In the 80s, they went for sure. They figured out the technology in a normal, appropriate amount of time. Just not in 1964 or whatever the fuck it was.
And when they went up the other times, they brought up the relics.
Yeah, man. So you got it.
Dust on them. Perfect.
You just checked all the boxes.
They talked about how bummed the guy who made Pepe the Frog.
Yeah, how he tried to kill it.
That's just so weird, eh? Like, he started... Like, I never got to the point where I posted that, but I was on the cusp of just thinking it's funny and, like, it's a total, like...
I'm surprised you haven't face-swapped your own face onto Pepe's.
I'm surprised, too, man. I do that. I might just do that. That might be the way.
Were you like coming close to posting the Nazi Pepe or just the normal Pepe?
Isn't the Pepe the Nazi Pepe?
No, there's one that's just the frog, and then there's one where he's,
got the gear on.
No, for me, it's always just been that look back, like you know what I really think. I was it was the Trump Pepe.
Kamar, you know what I really think. The Holocaust didn't happen.
Oh, we know what he really thinks.
I bet you if you zoom in, it's written in the eyes. Yeah, then they more talk.
I almost used that. I almost used it.
No, it seemed like it's a swastika.
I was going to put a flag, the swastika flag, on my front step because it was a Buddhist symbol. I was almost going to do it. But then I thought, no, the people are right. I should just hold back.
I made the right decision. And then they got into Elon buying Twitter. Simon, you hate him the most of the 3 of us. What do you think about that?
I do.
Yeah.
I think it's hilarious that everybody is championing this guy when he is just doing exactly what all billionaires do.
Diversifying his portfolio.
It's like him buying the Washington Post.
Buy the news now. What did what's his Rupert Murdoch do? What did fucking Bezos do? They all do the same thing. They all get enough money. They buy a media outlet and they go to space.
Can I also point out that Joe, in the same episode, was shitting all over Nancy Pelosi for insider trading? Elon Musk does the exact same thing.
$1 billion in like 14 days. No.
In like 4 days.
Yeah. Dude, the whole thing is so
But again, gross. Doesn't tell anyone because he doesn't want to pay the jacked up price. Like, you got to realize there are if Elon Musk wanted to sell a certain amount of Tesla stock, he has to let everyone know. And if he doesn't, it's against the regulations.
So he had to say, I'm going to buy Twitter.
Yes.
But they said he bought a little bit, and then the rest of it.
In 4 days.
He paid $3.1 billion for 9.2%. What if we offer him like 20% of our company for like $1 billion?
Let's do it. Let's see if he said, look, if he's just throwing money away, right?
It's more for less, and he got a
hold
stranglehold on the media.
Kamar, do we want $1 billion? Or are we just highballing? Because if we want $1 billion, we got to ask for 2.
Okay, there you go. And you negotiate. I was just saying.
Okay.
More for less.
I just think it's hilarious. It's like, hey, this he's over there, just minding his own business, building a giant kryptonite laser. Don't mind him. Like, are we all fucking blind here?
Seems like he wants to bring back freedom of speech at Twitter.
I'm sure if you
Dude,
ask
he's
Tesla,
hilarious.
I'm sure if you ask Tesla employees, they would almost disagree with that statement across the board.
And I don't know if you followed
He's
Elon.
going to get rid of any bad talk about.
I don't know if
working
you follow
conditions or whatever.
Elon at all, but when he disagrees with somebody on Twitter, it's not like he offers them free speech. He fucking annihilates them with like bigoted comments, man.
No, but even then, he literally
Bigoted comments.
He has been well known at Tesla for silencing angry employees, for again unionization, like.
For wanting to kill Superman? Like, what are we doing here,
I guess I
guys?
didn't see that
What
tweet.
are we doing here?
guess I
This
didn't
guy
see that
is such
tweet.
a sham. And the fact that he has Joe Rogan in his back pocket is worrisome.
I mean, it depends, because if you ever think Joe was going to get canceled, Elon Musk is his meal ticket. As in, like, let's say tomorrow, Spotify, Apple, let's say everyone was like, he does something that's just so egregious and they decide to take him down. Elon will immediately throw $2 billion at something for someone to start. You know what I mean? He's got enough smart people. He'll start a platform and he puts Joe on.
Epstein,
Yeah.
then
Elon comes to
would
the
buy
rescue.
him an island.
Okay, sure.
But if 9.2% of Twitter is worth $3 billion, that means it's worth at least $300 billion, $400 billion, right?
Yeah.
That's the how valuation works.
Yeah.
And
Well, that's how market cap and
the other
valuation,
98.2% is split up between 1 million people or 2 million shareholders.
I'm sure someone holds a big chunk. There's got to be
No
someone.
one holds bigger than 9.2 though.
Oh, really? He's now the
That's
biggest
what
single.
it is, which
Interesting.
is
Okay.
great. So
Yeah.
there's got to be a bunch.
Well, yeah,
How
of
many-
course. It's a publicly traded
Well, I
company.
thought 51% was be like a lot, but
How many
9.2 is
homeless
enough.
people are there right now in Los Angeles? You know what Elon's doing? He's
100,000?
building tunnels. I wonder how that's going to help the homeless.
Did you see?
They can live in the empty tunnels when that project fails.
Exactly.
Did you see the governor of Texas is putting all the illegal immigrants on a bus to Washington D.C.?
That's hilarious. That's the old New York scam.
Yeah.
Old New York scam.
Send them somewhere else. Yeah. We got to move on, Kumar.
I'm sorry, just really
Oh my
though.
God, how many?
Okay,
Jesus,
go
he's
on.
got 50
go
more
on,
notes.
Go on, Kate. Hit them all.
No, we don't have to hit them all. No way. Listen, this episode was all comedy. There wasn't like.
This is like a drum set. Hit them all. Holy
Yeah, it was
shit!
so funny.
That's
How
what I'm
many
saying.
notes
There's
do
no
you
way.
have, dude? Give me the fast version though. Go through. I want to hear what 2 times took you.
Let's see. Well, I'll just read this.
He goes
page.
slower.
I'll just
see.
read this page, and then you guys think if there's anything
Yeah,
we're talking about
yeah,
there. Okay?
go.
Rapid fire.
Epstein, CIA or Mossad,
I wanna
Down
talk about
syndrome,
that.
sex life, tattoo on the eyeball was Ottawa, Shane's mustache, body image coming back, R. Kelly, real talk in the
R.
closet.
Kelly. Listen, hold on. Okay, we got to touch. Fine.
And I have
fine.
100 more points.
Fine.
I'll put them on my Instagram.
Listen, R. Kelly, if you have not done yourself the privilege of watching Trapped in the
Did you
Closet,
say I was with those girls?
you have to watch Trapped in the Closet. It's nothing shy of incredible.
It was a midget. It was a midget in the closet.
I went over
my
to the
God.
cabinet, and trust me when I tell you that I will open the cabinet, there was a midget.
He is a midget. And when they said it, I was like, yeah, sure they did. And then they played it. Oh my God. And he's not being funny.
No, the craziest
R.
is
Kelly's not being funny.
what's insane
so
to
funny.
me is it's spoken word harmonized. Like nothing really rhymes. It's
Okay.
like if I was just like, I woke up this morning, made myself some scrambled eggs.
I never got the appeal of R. Kelly. I like that one song, the hook of that one song. You got the
Remix
key to
Ignition.
and fish and the key- that, but I never really liked his music.
I Believe I Can Fly.
And I'm not just saying that because he's a massive pedophile. I'm just like I genuinely never liked
Do you
his
see him
music.
singing in jail?
Isn't that
Like, he
isn't that
still got
Seal?
it.
No.
Seal's not a pedophile.
No,
Seal
I think
is
I
not.
Can Fly.
No, that's Kissed by a Rose. I Believe I Can Fly is definitely R. Kelly.
Oh yeah.
And Crazy.
Okay.
We're going to survive unless...
I don't know that song.
But yeah, they talked about that tattoo eyeball that goes from Ottawa.
Who cares about that? Let's talk hold on, the Epstein thing. Just 1 second, if we can just do it fast. Mossad and CIA. He was probably most likely working for both of them, and he had his own agenda, which made him a real triple threat. You can go on now.
They talked about.
You see, Matt, thank you. I know you're sick of me, apparently, but thank you. Dude, what is wrong with you? You're a fucking comedian.
He doesn't laugh at anything. I told you.
He's like Joe. He is
Yeah,
Joe Rogan.
I told you. Yeah, he does not.
Give me something, man.
Or like,
I've been saying this for 3 years now.
When the deaf guy won the Oscars, they're all like this. That's clapping. And
Simon.
Yeah, I got it.
The good news is now that you've mentioned it, you'll get a few big roaring laughs in the next half hour. Jovial.
Have you seen
overcompensation?
Yes,
Have
yes,
you-
yes,
Have you seen?
Yes.
Have you seen the YouTube of it's a guy and he has a deaf friend and he's getting him to tell him what things sound like?
Yeah,
in
of
his
course,
head?
yeah.
That is funny, man.
There's
It's funny because he thinks it's funny. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
15 people listening that think that was funny, and that's what really matters.
Yeah, 15. You are not one of them.
See, there's
When
your
I-
compensating
hold on,
laugh.
hold on a
And there
second.
it is.
Hold on a
It
second.
roars its
Come
ugly
on.
head.
Maybe when you re-listen to our episode twice, you'll hear it the second time through.
Unless I forget to listen to that part. Oh, we forgot. Oh, no, that's the next podcast. They talked about performing in China, and just think about how scary it would be.
You're supposed to read off your notes and we pick.
Okay.
No, this is the last one, and then we're moving on. Oh, fine.
Read them. I want to
Just
hear what
go.
you have. Come on. Just jot note form.
Performing in China, you're fucked without a phone in a foreign country with no English. You're fucked. Like, you will die within 6 hours. I think. It makes you so vulnerable not on a cell phone. No Parks live on stage. I would not like to see this.
No, me
in
either.
a live thing.
Watch Shane crush 42 beers.
Nate Bargatze doesn't do anything. It just, which is the saying
that
is
mean?
What does that mean? Doesn't do anything.
like doesn't talk about politics. Doesn't talk
Oh, yeah,
about sex.
it's-
Doesn't talk about anything.
No.
No, he talks about his wife. He talks about fun
and so
stuff.
the saying, which has been told to me, is clean means green in comedy.
Yeah.
And it's just that there are so many more opportunities afforded you if you keep it clean. And young comics be like, no, I'll swear and talk about crazy. It's like, okay, fine, but there aren't the powers that be with money who want to pay you to do that. So it's going to be much harder. So just think about that when you're writing jokes.
And it's funny because Nate, sorry, just one thing to add. Nate is obviously not like that with his friends because they all always talk about how it's crazy how different he is on stage than he is, right? Like, he's not clean in real life. Go on, Kumar.
It's weird when they talk about Amy Schumer. They all shit on her, and Joe doesn't say anything. She used to be a friend of the show.
Was she?
Well, she was on. We
I
all
mean,
love
way back in like the 300s or something.
Tiffany Haddish is another weird one.
Okay, that was weird. That was super weird because that was egregious. What she said was egregious, and Joe just let her slide on that like it ain't no thing.
Yeah, there's a weird energy.
I don't.
sometimes
I didn't
when
like.
names
I
come
don't
up.
care. I don't care for that. They were both there. They both knew exactly what she said. Both her and Fitzy. He brought it up, and Joe deaded it.
And it's ain't no thang.
Bullies make heroes.
It's a chicken wing, so it's thing. Ain't no thing.
Ain't no thang, but a
wing.
chicken wang.
Bullies make heroes.
Bullies make heroes.
George St. Pierre became the best fighter in the world because he was bullied.
No, hold on.
Joe was bullied. Like,
Okay, fine. I see what you're saying. Yeah.
like it's
I just wanted to say, I in no way, shape, or form believe GSP's bully story. I believe he was bullied.
Oh, for sure, but he didn't meet him on the street and
Thank
give him
you.
money.
Thank
and-
you.
but
There
no,
wasn't some
that didn't-
heartwarming
that
moment
didn't.
in his SUV in a
No,
cold Montreal day.
no,
I just have a very tough time. And I love GSP.
Yeah, me too.
I think he is.
I think he just got caught up in the moment on the Joe Rogan show and cannot take it back now.
Yeah, and
it's like what's his name's 9/11 story. You just
Steve Ratzenberger
you just
or
go
whatever,
with it.
Raspberry, whatever the fuck.
Rizzini or
yeah,
whatever his
Ramsey.
name
Yeah.
is.
okay. We got to wrap this up.
That was
I
half
want
a
to bring
laugh,
more.
half a laugh
There's,
on
there's
that
too
one.
many good points for this, but I just say the spit in your asshole.
We are sorry. I
Well,
brought
you
that up
definitely
yeah.
need some spit to get that hamster in. That's for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh no, they'll beat you up. They'll line you up. Everyone will come by this.
It's the craziest
They'll
shit
put
I've ever
peanut butter. He got his ass. Okay, and so rate it, guys. A lot more. Well, I'll talk about more of the post show.
Like, how do you explain that to someone? When
Exactly.
You, like,
That's why it's such
like,
a
you
That's
know what
the
I
whole
mean?
point.
Boss move.
You can't. I got it from the toilet seat. Bitch, you didn't.
No, but I'm just saying, like, in general, like, you get it. Like, let's say you're a normal person, like they were saying, like, you're in there for money laundering. You know what I mean? And, like, you get out, and it's like, what was prison like? Like, how do you, like, I don't know, 7 dudes lined up and spit in my open asshole?
Dude.
Like, I'm sorry, what?
If
take
you
it to the grave.
if you haven't, do yourself a favor and listen to Chris. What's his fucking name? Chrissy.
Chris DiStefano?
Chris DiStefano's 911 story. It is so fucking funny. I'll just tell you the portion where
I've heard it.
his dad is in the principal's office.
Yeah.
And he says, and I'd rather go back to jail and it'll be a real jail because at least I'll be there with my friends. And then he says, and this hasn't happened since July 7th, 1976. And Chris is like, I don't know what date that is, but I know he was in jail, so I can take a guess as to what he was talking about. Dude, that story is fucking amazing.
Look, there's a lot of crossover with Fitzsimmons. Just a couple more points.
Well, then just keep him versus Simmons.
The Protected Parks versus Joe. I think the Protected Parks could win.
Shane.
Because of Shane.
Oh, for sure. For
Yeah.
sure. Listen, all Shane would have
Joe
to
is
do is tie him up.
5'6".
The other guys just pound him onto the face. Like,
And
You can only
nothing against Joe.
You can
He's
only leg
amazing.
kick. You can only leg kick so many people.
Joe is prone to get injured, trying to overcompensate, trying to take him all on.
if it was someone else, like if it was Bert and the three, I would say no. But because it's Shane, I think he was a football player. He was.
Can I
he's
ask
huge.
this? Before the fight, has Joe taken an ice bath? Are his nipples ice bath hard? Because that's a game
Because
changer.
they could cut someone.
They can do
Yeah,
whatever they want.
then he's fighting with weapons.
They can do whatever they want.
Okay.
Just last thing, the dry snitch.
Okay.
I couldn't stop
oh,
talking
yeah.
about it.
Yeah.
They're like talking about Joe DeRosa, and then Shane is like, yeah, he'll just eat some sandwiches and start doing some coke. And Joe goes, does he do coke? He's like, oh no, I'm just joking. But I was like, what, does he do coke? No, but seriously, does he
Let me
do
know. I
coke?
want to know on the air. Yeah.
That was a joke. Like,
I want to know when I go buy a sandwich, can I get some Coke? Like, what are you telling me here?
it's like,
Dude, I guess
I
my
said
mom.
too much. Well, he's
My mom started listening to the show and she hit me up this week. She was like, you know, I've started listening to the show, and I was like, oh fuck, this probably isn't good. And she goes, I'm very happy to know you didn't get into the coke. I was like, yeah, thanks, Ma. That's great. I was like, how do you know I wasn't
I
lying?
also love all those stories about your dad. Thanks.
No, she knows all about him.
and I think
Well,
what
I
wasn't
know, that's why
noticed
she likes your
is that
stories.
Shane Gillis was in 12 beers and had not taken a piss.
Yeah, and he also holds. I mean, again, there are Bud Lights, but he holds.
Yeah,
his-
that makes you piss way more than normal beer.
No, it's breaking the seal.
Yeah, once you break the seal,
But you could drink I could drink a lot of light beers and stay not belligerent. 12 IPAs, like they say, are 5%. I'm throwing up.
Well,
and
Joe
drunk.
said 8. Most of them
Joe
are
said
like
the average
5.
beer in
I
Canada
know.
is 8%. That is not true.
No, I think he was drinking that
Malt
fucking
liquor.
Belle Gueule there, or whatever it's called. You know,
Mickey's.
Mongoose.
Fin de Monde.
But
You
yeah,
know
there's-
those ones?
Yeah, Maudit.
Maudit,
There's a couple more, but
not Belle Gueule.
rate it, guys.
I give it a 4.
A 4. Fuck.
I love these guys.
I know, but what did you rate the week? It doesn't matter. I don't.
I
really
give
care.
it a
I don't
3.
know
I
your
rated the week a
ratings.
3.
it doesn't
The first hour was a mess, and Joe didn't tell him to shut up till 2 hours and 43's in. He was like, guys, you got to start talking. And once he did, I thought it got better.
For me, though, it doesn't. Listen, I know what I'm getting into when it starts. It's 4 comedians. I know one of them's going to be drinking heavily. Like the talking over each other, it's actually more bothersome Joe mentioning it as much as he does than it actually is. I find, but whatever. I still give it a 4. Great episode.
What they should really do is just have Jamie have like a sign that says over talking that he lifts when people, and then you don't have to hear from Joe. Everybody gets it. You know what I mean?
I don't
Keep it off camera.
There's no need for that.
I do not want to see this live, though. I don't think it'd translate.
No, I agree.
I mean, listen, I've seen enough Kill Tonys with Joe to know that it's probably not going to go the way anyone. It's not going to go good.
Kill Tonys are good, too, eh?
Well, not when Joe's there.
No, not when Joe's there.
No, that
Joe
that
tends.
one was actually
Joe actually
amazing.
finds a way to ruin Kill Tonys. I find.
The best part is when the band's laughing.
Oh yeah.
Especially the blind guy. And it was just sort of the same thing with Letterman. And sometimes the band would be howling at him. Just tie that all together. Okay, let's move it on.